with us for this press conference of the Secretary General. Would you like to sit? We can bring another chair. Please note that interpretation is available in English and in French, should you use it. We're going to start with brief remarks by the Secretary General, and then we'll have time for a few questions. Secretary General.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you very much for your presence. I am extremely happy with the results of my contacts during this African Union Summit. I think we have created the conditions to establish a new higher platform of cooperation between the African Union and the UN. As I said in my speech, I'm here with the expression of total solidarity and respect. Respect for African leadership, both in relation to the African development process and in relation to the African capacity to deal with the problems of peace and security in the region, but solidarity, which means support of the UN and hopefully support of the international community as a whole to the very important actions that the African Union and the different African regional organizations have been developing in order to guarantee the future of the continent. And I think we need to change the narrative about Africa in the international community. Usually I see people discussing in Europe, in the Americas, in Asia, the situation in Africa, based on all the crises that exist in African countries. But that is a partial view. And I think we need to have a narrative that recognizes that Africa is a continent with an enormous potential, that Africa is the continent that has higher economic growth in the last 10 years, that in Africa we have extraordinary success stories from the point of view of economic development and governance, and that in Africa we have, as we have seen just a few days ago, important success stories that show the capacity of African countries to come together and solve the problems that exist in the continent. The way ECOWAS was able to act in relation to the situation in Gambia, with the support of the African Union and the support of the UN, is something exemplary that I would hope could be copied in many other parts of the world. So I want here to pay tribute to the African Union, to their very important work on behalf of the continent, and to say that the UN will be entirely at the disposal of the African Union to fully support its activities. And I was very happy with the fact that President Abiy has announced that every year in January I will have, as it was the case yesterday, a breakfast allowing me to interact with all African heads of state and to be able to have a very meaningful discussion about the relations of the African Union and the UN. I'd also like to say that I have understood from the African heads of state their frustration with the fact that Africa has today a weight in international organizations, namely in the UN, that is much smaller compared with the weight that Africa has in today's world. I understood that frustration, and I also understood the African concerns with the problems of many peacekeeping operations that take place in areas where there is no peace to keep, and the need to have an intense dialogue between the African Union and the UN to see how better we can work together in relation to also the problems of peace and security. But having said so, development must be in the center of our cooperation. The best prevention of conflicts is sustainable and inclusive development. And we have agreed that the Agenda 2063 of the African Union and the Agenda 2030 that was approved by the summit in New York in relation to the whole international community, there's two agendas on sustainable development will be aligned, and that there will be only one reporting line, and that the UN country teams will be supporting governments in the implementation of both agendas in a coherent way in order to have the maximum benefit for the African peoples and the leadership of the African governments, and to have the strongest capacity to take profit of the different instruments that are at our disposal, namely, according to the Addis Ababa Program of Action in relation to funding, to make sure that we are successful in these extremely important objectives recognized both by the EU and the UN. Having said this, I cannot disguise the fact that I also came with a deep personal concern and a deep personal commitment. I was High Commissioner for Refugees, and when I started my functions, the 15th of June 2005, the 18th of June, I was in Uganda in a refugee camp to prepare for the celebration of World Refugee Day with South Sudanese refugees in Uganda. And then I had the chance to help support the return of 500,000 South Sudanese coming back to their country with joy and hoping that there will be a future of peace and prosperity for them, for their families, and for their country. Unfortunately, we have been witnessing a level of suffering of the South Sudanese people that is extremely troubling, and that I think should be of concern for the whole international community. And so, since the beginning of the exercise of my mandate, I've been concentrating a lot of attention to see how the UN can help African leadership in dealing successfully with the problems of South Sudan. And I'm very happy to be able to confirm that we had yesterday a meeting of the leadership of the IGAD, the leadership of the African Union, and of myself, and we were able to have a full agreement between the IGAD, the African Union, and the Secretary General of the United Nations, a full agreement in relation to the need to work together with one voice, a full agreement in underlining the mandate of President Konare on behalf of the African Union with total support of the UN, and also the work of President Mulai of IGAD in his mission in relation to the verification of this agreement, and that we all believe in the need to have in South Sudan a national dialogue that is fully inclusive of all parties to move into a political solution in South Sudan, and that I had the opportunity to discuss with President Salva Kiir and with the key neighbors of the country, and I think that we have a consensus on the way forward. There will be difficulties, there will be problems, there will be hiccups, but I leave Addis with the hope that we can find a common way to address the dramatic situation of South Sudan, a common way to help the South Sudanese come together and solve their problems. Of course, there are different other problems that I had the occasion to discuss with the African leaders, namely today with the Group of Five in relation to the situation in Mali. Very important discussions about the future of peacekeeping operations, how better the UN can support the EU in the missions of the EU that are also covered by Security Council decisions, as it is the case of AMISOM. How we can really work together better also in relation to the prevention of conflict, conflict resolution and sustaining peace. But I repeat, the best prevention is always development, inclusive and sustainable development, and this will be the very center of our cooperation.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.